IGDC to Chennai and Vision 2035. IGN India posted this
The 60 developers
18
are
hours
the
ago.
developers we shortlisted from all over India. The 60 developers is
Mhm.
the number of developers to whom we gave away free space. We created this program
Mhm.
called Indy 40. Most of
Right.
the leadership, state leadership was here. The IIT, IIIT, NITs, can they have some sort of gaming electives? I think that was bad judgment from our end. We didn't think through that this would hurt anybody's feelings. If we want to create $100 billion value in India, if we need to be a gaming superpower, the biggest problem we need to solve is. Hello, guys. Today we
Mhm.
are with Sridhar from Jedi, and we're talking to
Mhm.
him here at IGDC 2025. Let's start with this year. After so many years, the 17th edition of IGDC is
Mhm.
in Chennai for the first time. So,
Yeah.
how has it changed the sentiments of developers? What new things have we seen on the floor this year? First of all, as you would have seen, it's a massive space, right? So there's a lot of energy. So Hyderabad, where we used to do HICC,
Yeah.
we kind of outgrew that space. So we needed a bigger space, and so we started looking around, and we thankfully we found this, and the state government here has been very proactive. So we moving here has been amazing because most of the leadership, state leadership, was here, spending a lot of time with developers.
I'm not
Jedi
interested.
announced the Vision 2035.
Yeah.
Can
Tell me
you
about the
tell us
game
more
dev
about
part
it?
of it.
The way we looked at it is with the new act coming up from the government,
Mhm.
which has at last separated RMG.
Yes. Oh my god. This is so good. This is something that I've been talking about so much. I hate the existence of RMG gaming. RMG gaming is real money gaming, as you can see here. It is basically legalized gambling. Okay, these are legalized gambling apps that are running rampant in the country. And finally, my God, they separated the category and drew a line saying, no, these are not gaming apps, because as long as they were part of the gaming industry numbers were inflated, because all the money was going into RMG game, not RMG games, RMG apps, and they were making a lot of money because it's gambling. Gambling makes money, and for the house makes money. That is why the industry valuation goes up, not the players. Players don't make money. In fact, there are so many stories about people losing losing their lives from RMG gaming and going into debt, etc. Okay, that's a different topic. But the numbers are inflated, right? Which means you do not know the ground reality. You don't know what sort of incentives you want to give. You don't know what sort of resources you want to allocate, and it was a big problem. So now that there's a clear line, hopefully there will be some incentive programs from the government to encourage some indie devs to make good games here, because we have good developers, right? Because a lot of big AAA studios have workforces in India who make these games. It's not that we don't have talent; it's that we don't have incentive. There is no incentive to making a game other than passion, right? Which is why we see passion driven games, but we don't see a boom in the indie industry. And hopefully, with this bill, my God, resources will be diverted from RNG into actual games.
From conventional video games, which is something industry has been asking for a while. Now, with that in place, the government is seriously looking at how do we promote this industry now that there is no stigma associated with it. How do we promote it?
No,
So
that is key part. Now that there is no stigma, when there was stigma, no attempt was made to clear the stigma. But now that naturally the stigma has passed, now we can see how we can capitalize on it.
this is the right time for we felt we guide the government on what needs to be done. If we need to be a gaming superpower or game development superpower, there are a few things the government needs to do. The biggest problem we need to solve.
Okay, before he talks about that, uh, we don't need to be a gaming superpower, right? We don't need to be a gaming like game dev gods of the world. We just need good games. We just need for example, Clear Obscure Expedition, right? Expedition 33. We just need one or two good games every few years. That's all I'm asking for. Okay, I know we have the potential for it.
Solve is shortage of skill talent. We just don't have enough great.
We have skill talent. I mean, the shortage of skill talent, I understand where it's coming from, because a lot of people just don't want to be game devs because there is an incentive than working in game AAA studios, right? But also the work conditions are so not good. The pay is not good. Intern, they say you're being hired as an intern, and you just do all the work and not get paid. Some cases you have to pay to do the internship, which is
game developers. Because we have highest number of mobile gamers are here, you can see Google everywhere.
yeah. India is a mobile gaming industry. It is what it is. Everyone in the country has a mobile phone, and it's a mobile first country now. That is something that we have to acknowledge. That for example, US is a console first industry. A lot of people have consoles, and PC is something that is secondary, right? Um, whereas in India, it's a mobile first.
See, some of the big mobile platforms are here talking to game developers, trying to figure out what they can do for them. So we want government to seriously look at it, and we provided a couple of initiatives or policies they can they can take up, like something as simple as every IIT, IIIT, NITs, can they have some sort of gaming electives, right?
Yeah,
how
true.
do we make that happen, right? Because that itself, if we can get our smartest people in India, can
Yeah,
be
because you just need to it's just like awareness, right? You just need to introduce people to the concept of game development, and if they like it, if they get hooked, they will pursue that path on their own. But now there is no touch point where people can get introduced to game development unless they have this curiosity and they look for it themselves.
exposed to video game development, some of them might actually choose to become game developers, right? So we have some ideas which we present to the government. We're saying, hey, if we do this, maybe we can attract some of the smartest people. Apart from that, we also want government to seriously look at how do we incubate more indies in India, more people focused on PC games or console games.
Mhm.
What's the
Also, one more problem that Indian market has is India is a very big free to play market. India is not a country of buyers, right? India is a country of free to play, and that is a big problem because a lot of PC games rely on a lot of Steam games as stuff you buy, right? And majority of the country would rather have free to play with ads or microtransactions than paying an upfront cost, which is something that game developers will have to contend with.
versus mobile games, which is more, you could call it commercial, where there's a lot more product is involved versus innovation, which seem to be happening only right now, only in PC. So we want the government to look at that.
One thing I hope, I mean, I know it's going to happen, but I hope it doesn't, is that now that RMG apps are not part of gaming and actual games will be made, I hope gacha games don't take that spot. Like RMG games are leaving, they leave a power vacuum, and all that's happening is just gacha games filling that hole. And we just back to square one, except except instead of money, it's waifus now.
Them differently. So we came up with a couple of ideas saying, hey, we need a large incubator, national level incubator, focused only on PC console game developers, and encourage them, give them grants, give them whatever they need, long-term policy framework around that, right? And then the second initiative is how do we create a mobile gaming accelerator, which is basically folks who know what they're doing, but right now to succeed in mobile gaming, you need growth funds, right? So can government get involved, provide some sort of rebates on your growth spend, right? Like the way
Yeah, true.
Turkey does, like the way some of the other countries seem to be doing who are thriving in this space, right?
Yeah,
So we have
something as simple as basic grants to create a demo. If you can get a government grant to create a demo that you can then pitch to publishers, or like a platform where you can connect with publishers. Because as an indie dev, a new indie dev in a new market, because the Indian game developer market is a new market, obviously, because now it is where it's coming up. It's a new market. In a new market, having a channel to connect with publishers, distributors, etc., is beneficial. So having a pilot program, right, a pilot game dev program where you get a grant for creating a demo, and and then you can pitch it to have like a demo day where you can pitch it to publishers, right? Like a startup ecosystem. That would be ideal, I think. Instead of, because depending on the scale of the game, the funding it needs could be anywhere from thousands to lakhs, um, right? In indie space, if you go to like AAA, obviously it can go into crores. But if it's like a small grant to get you to a demo, and from there they provide you the platform to pitch it to publishers. That is all. That something like that could go a long way.
some initiatives there. So overall, this is a nothing will happen immediately. We understand it, but we
Yeah.
wanted to present that if we want to create $100 billion value in India in the coming 10 years, these are some of the things industry needs.
You have put a big $1 billion vision and goal for the industry. But when a gamer sitting in, say, America or Japan sees the tag game made in India, what do you want the world to see India as, a producer of indie games or AAA games, or, just services that India has been doing a lot of great work? Because we talk to a lot of people on the floor, and we know for the fact that these guys are providing services to the biggest publishers out there.
Yep.
They're not making something of their own. So when you see the India becoming superpower in gaming, what do you see India as a indie powerhouse, or as a maker of AAA games?
Now, what do we want the world to look at?
Definitely indie. In my opinion, India is going to be a space for indie game developers for at least in the short run, because Indian investors in India are very risk averse, right? And bigger scale means higher risk, higher funding, and that is something that is not possible in the current ecosystem, in my opinion. Even if you set out to make a big game, there will be a lot of hurdles you'll have to cross, and the development cycle will not be as easy as you might think. So doing small scale, story rich indie games, right? Just start to finish, getting used to that pipeline, getting used to the development cycle of ideating, developing, pushing it to the market, feedback loop, getting used to that development cycle, getting used to that market, getting used to being a developer, getting used to being in that ecosystem. And these small games over time in the next few years, I think, will build an ecosystem where the risk of making a bigger game will be much less, because everyone in the ecosystem is used to the development cycle of creating a game and publishing it, and how things work. Basically, right now everything is new. I don't expect anything AA, AAA coming out in the industry.
India as like any other country with the top creative people in the world, right? Like we want the world to look at like, oh, this is where the best game designers come from. This is where the best gaming programmers come from, or gaming,
Stories where we can thrive, I think. Look at all the movies that come out of India, right? We have such amazing writers. So making small scale story rich indie games is where it's at, I think.
artists come from, right? That would be our aspiration, So we fix the talent problem, we fix incubation problem, and we think it's going to happen. We make it attractive because we want the top talent of the.
One more thing that I think India has a capacity to create. We can create. Sorry, I got a nervous burp, but let me just check real quick. I think it's called that. Yeah, I think India has huge potential for something called FMV gaming. FMV gaming is full motion video. Full motion video gaming is where you use live action video in gaming, like you make it interactive, like Road to Empress or something that went viral recently. A lot of people played it. China does a lot of these games, so I think we can do visual novels, FMV games, because especially FMV games, we have a big TV industry, people who are used to creating TV shows, etc. So having a production, create a TV show with alternate endings, um, is very much possible, I think. And visual novels are very story heavy and relatively easier to make for an indie dev. You give him a solo dev, I think.
World to come here and build games. That's our goal. That's
Not, I won't say easy, I would say simple, right? Relatively simpler compared to making something like a Metroidvania, or something like a roguelike. Like roguelike, or I'm talking about roguelike. I say roguelike is so visual novels are simpler than roguelikes, but roguelikes have a lot of potential, right? If you're someone who's into roguelikes, and this year has been a big year for roguelikes. I've seen a lot of roguelike games come out. I play a lot of roguelike games. I like roguelike games. So a roguelike game out of India would also be fun. Now that I think about it. Yeah. FMVs, visual novels, roguelikes. I think these three have like real potential of doing well, given the very new growing market right now. Yeah.
how we are going to learn, because we want our own growth to accelerate. The only way that's going to happen is if we are working with somebody who's been there and done that. So yeah.
What can we do to empower the developers to make such quality games where we don't even need to market it as an Indian game? Just like, oh, it's an amazing game that I need to play.
Exactly. Unlike movies and other, maybe there is a cultural element there. With games, there is none of that, right? So we want people to focus on competing globally. We
Mhm.
want people to be able to be the best game in the world. I mean, just because I'm in India, I'm not going to play a subpar game. I have no reason to when I have
Yes,
access to the world.
please, can we get this point through people's skull? Okay, just because it's so every time I criticize an Indian game, people come after me in comments and DMs saying, "Oh, you should support our indie games." etc." We should support them. We should support them, but we should also criticize them, right? I can't just say, oh, I can't just play a mid game and then say it's amazing just because it's made in India. I can't say that's unfair. We can't do that. If Indian game devs deserve support, Indian gamers deserve um, good content, right? So holding everyone to the same standard is important.
Best game in the world. My time is precious. I'm going to spend that on the best game and best experience in the world, right? So, as an Indian developer, you would never want to get any.
One comment I still have in my mind is like, do you know that difference in budget between, if you don't have the budget, then don't make it that scale, right? You have to control the scope of your game. Just because I'm criticizing the quality, you cannot say it's not the same budget as a different game I'm comparing it to in the same genre, because I'm comparing it genre wise. If you don't have a AAA budget, don't attempt a AAA game. I don't know how complicated that is to understand.
Kind of special treatment just because you are in India, to get like Indian users, because you should compete globally, and that's where
The fact that you are going for a AAA game and you don't have a AAA budget only shows your ego. You have no track record of making previous games. You haven't made any indie projects from start to finish. You haven't put out anything. You're going for a AAA off rip, and then you're upset. People are criticizing it. How does that make sense?
associations like ours come in, the government comes in, where how do we empower them? How do we give them the skill set needed? And that's what our vision statement is about. What does the government
Let's
need?
integrate gaming into computer science and engineering education. Yeah, okay. I mean, how do you integrate it? Computer science already, like if you are in computer science, you're learning programming languages. Maybe what? You teach them game design, like teach them how to prepare a GDD, etc. Teach them the concept of game design, etc. Okay, teach them like engine, if give them an elective of learning Unity or Unreal or something. Okay. National design, okay. Also national incubation through established game mobile game accelerator. Expand market access, yes, this is true. Incentivize angel investment, yes. Investors are very risk averse in India. Unless you have growth already, they won't invest in you. Like top international talent. Okay. Okay. I don't know why that is necessary, but okay. About founder-led mentorship network. Okay. Fund dedicated gaming hubs. Hmm. More than gaming hubs, gaming events would be nice. Like tournaments. Fun tournaments. Fun tournaments, different events. That'll boost gaming. Dedicated gaming hubs is what? Allow international founder participation. This is okay. This basically reads to me as let others hire in India, and then we can label let a developer in other country hire Indian staff and still be able to label it as made in India. I guess I don't know. That is confusing. 7 and 10 are confusing. 7, 9, 10. These three I don't understand.
Need to do so that our
Gaming vision, exporters. Okay. Plan targets are $100 billion in value creation, $10 million in annual growth, gaming exports, million jobs for 2035. Just one decent game that garners attention from gamers, regardless of where they are. Just one. Okay.
our talent gets the
This is not happening in 10 years. I'll tell you right now, this is not happening in 10 years.
necessary skill set they could, so that they could compete globally.
I'll be happy. I'll be elated if one good title comes out in the next 10 years.
So that's exactly what we are trying.
Absolutely. But don't you think
I'm not being pessimistic, by the way. I'm being realistic. Games take time to make. And especially when you are new, it takes time to establish your pipelines and etc. to get used to doing all the pre-production, the production, etc., right? All the planning and stuff. Yeah. Just establishing the things they talked about, the incubators and stuff, it was going to take at least 4 to 5 years.
accessibility is the problem?
I'm saying, realistically speaking, that is possible. US, China, India being one of the top 3 is possible, but it's not. It's going to take more than 10 years.
Where PC gamers are less in India. I mean, like, be it graphic cards being highly priced in India, be it
Yeah.
consoles
Import.
not being readily available in India, being stock
I mean,
out
we
of
don't.
stock all the
We're
time,
not
or the
a
prices
console
being
first
higher than
country,
the
so that's
world.
fine.
Even in fact, video games being highly priced in India, and no,
You know what's funny? You might be able to get Steam Machine at the same price though, because Steam Machine counts as a PC. I don't know how the difference is between a PC and a console. So we'll have to see the price difference between the two.
regional support at all, there no regional pricing at all. So
Yeah.
these are the things that need to change before you need to create a PC gamer base, right?
Mhm.
How do you think as
No. Instead of trying to make everyone an RTX GPU supercomputer gamer, aim to create good games that run on any computer. Go for that is what something I don't understand about the Indian gaming industry. Everyone wants to make big graphical photorealistic or AAA 100 billion 200 billion game. Make small good games. That is a real problem, but that is not a hurdle to the gaming industry, right? Yes, GPUs are expensive, but that is, I mean, that is a part of the problem. That is a pain point, but that is not one of the top pain points. There are like a lot of pain points that come before that on the list.
Jedi or as the policymakers could help us with this?
That's a good point. Now, to be honest, we haven't been thinking enough about that, and that's
Good, don't think about it. There are other important things to think about.
something we should be thinking.
No, no.
Because you're right. There's a way to create that market by changing some of these policies. We haven't been thinking enough
Don't think about it.
about it, but we will start thinking about it.
No, don't, please.
Right. That's a great thing to hear. Also, this year we've noticed that there were less developers on the floor showcasing. This year, only 60 developers here showcasing, which is less number than last year. Do you think somewhere the hike in pricing of booths at IGDC has caused this?
Not true. 60 developers is a very small number. We 60 developers is the number of developers to whom we gave away free space.
Huh?
That's not the total number. It's like literally in hundreds, right? The 60 developers are the developers we shortlisted
Okay, good.
from all over India, curated from hundreds of them, and said, "Hey, you guys need to get exposure. You need to meet
Okay,
publishers. You need
platformer.
to,
Okay.
get
I didn't know I would have a day. I would be happy seeing a platformer.
mentorship." So what we've done is we created this program called Indie 40, and then there is something called Women in Gaming, and there is a part of again Create India mission. All of them combined, we chose about 60 developers all over India and gave them free space.
Yeah.
And they don't have to pay anything else, right? And give them a space, bring your laptop, start showing it to people. And as part of that initiative, we put them through something called Mentor Cafe, which basically is they got to spend time with 6 experts in different domains, like somebody talking about growth, some one-on-one,
Mhm.
somebody talking about how do you do PR and how do you launch your game, or somebody talking about
Mhm.
how do you work with platforms, how do you work with publishers. So
Yeah.
these were like one-on-one sessions done. We also did something called Design and Dialogue, where we put them in again in a very small 10-member group with international experts, so that they could just brainstorm on genre specific ideas, like narrative games. How do you build? What are all the things you can do better? So
That is good to hear. That is good to hear because a lot of the times game dev. I mean, I'm not a game dev, but I hear stories about game devs who talk about how lonely it is to be a game dev because they're usually solo devs. They're sitting in the room working on their own, and it is very hard to find other people to kind of bounce your ideas off of, etc. So having a space like that is very good, and the fact that they gave away free booths to 60 people is also like, yeah. See, I'm not completely cynical.
there's a lot being done for the industry, and absolutely free. They won't charge even 1 rupee, right? So the others who didn't want a small booth or a small thing, they wanted a big booth, exclusive booth for themselves, which is great. You can have
Thank
it,
God they're not
So
building
what we did
photorealistic
was we
games.
increased it by about 20%, right? Last year it was like about a lakh. Now it went up to about lakh 20 or something like that. Which is again, most people who reached out saying, "Hey, can you give us a little bit of discount because this is too expensive?" All of them were given those discounts. It's not like there was a heavy-handedness on that, right? Because we know some people cannot pay, which is fine. We are game developers. Why would we want any of them who cannot afford to do it? We have no reason to do it. So that's a very big misconception that there were only 60 developers. Yeah, but
Okay,
then
that's
as
good.
I said, we want through you, we want people to know that we listen to you. And next time, if there is a real reason, genuine reason you can't pay something, just approach us. We're not gonna buy it. I mean, we're most of us are game developers, have struggled. So if there is something we can do, we will do.
Mhm.
That's great to hear. Another thing that I wanted to talk to you about is there has been a lot of chatter, a lot of backlash
Mhm.
regarding the Anthem, IGDC Anthem, Jedi Anthem, that was created using generative AI.
आईजीडीसी ये क्रांतिकारी खून है अब हार नहीं कबूल क्योंकि दिल में जुनून है
The
I was just being nice.
points that were raised is basically this conference, this IGDC as an entire thing, or Jedi as a association, is supposed to empower the artists in India, game developers in India, but artists in India in general, right? When we use generative AI, do you not think that we are taking away a little bit from the artist? And what is your overall perspective about using generative AI in
Okay, let's see. Let's see what it
I
says.
think that was bad judgment from our end.
Thank God. Thank God.
We didn't think through that this would hurt anybody's feelings. So feedback taken. We
That mouse is, what is that mouse?
have to be more careful, right? So yeah, we totally understand.
AI is good, right? I'm not talking about generative AI. I'm saying in general, AI is good when implemented in places where it's required. For example, in R&D, for like in like protein research, because if you go to simulate different strands of proteins, it would take like years or like decades and stuff. But using AI, you can do it really quickly, which is good for healthcare and stuff. You can use it in game development, in like NPC and NPC behavior, right? Stuff like that. For example, forgot what that was. It's basically NPCs remembering you and then coming back and talking to you, etc. Right? Depending on how you treat them, then their behavior changes for the rest of the game. I forgot what it was called, but yeah, systems like that, right? AI, there are a lot of places where AI is needed, um, or would make life a lot easier, except generative AI. No one asked for generative AI. Generative AI exists for companies to cut costs to increase shareholder value. At the end of the day, it's about shareholder value.
That was probably something.
The entire Western, I mean, even Indian at this point, because everything's so interconnected. Everything is like basically hinged on, balanced on one thing. Okay. Imagine this. Okay, this is the okay. Try to balance it. Okay, this. Okay, this is the entire stock market of the world. Everything is balanced on OpenAI. If OpenAI goes down, that's it.
We should have thought through. So moving forward, obviously we'll do a better job on that element. Now, in terms of what I personally feel, I want to make it clear: we are Game Developer Association of India. We are a industry body which is interested in taking care of interests of businesses. We want people to build businesses. We want people to create employment. We want people to create wealth in this country. If you are not going to adopt AI for production, if you're not going to make it part of your your production pipeline on how you produce content, you're probably going to have a hard time in future. And we don't represent individual developer or an artist.
Here's the thing, right? The thing is, yes, generative AI can be used in workflows, and it does. It does help fasten. It does help with production pipeline, but it should not be the final result. Right? For example, let's say I'm here. I want to hire a designer to design assets for my game, right? And I'm giving them brief to do something, right? Now, theoretically, I can go to generative AI, create a concept right? That is where it can be useful to create concept which I can then hand over to the designer, and they have a more clear vision as to what I want them to create. Right? That is where it fits in my opinion, not the final result. It should never be the final result. Nobody wants to see it. People think people want to see AI movies. Nobody wants to see AI movies. Okay? Nobody wants to see AI movies. Nobody wants to play AI games. It is very evident. Maybe in the future when it's indistinguishable, you can do it in your studio, not tell anybody, and no one will know. But people want other people to make art. Art was never the thing that AI was not supposed to replace art. Art is human. Art is human. Being human is part of art. It's AI. Okay, for example, this is not. I'll keep ranting.
Started
We're
program.
already We're already like 40 minutes into this recording. This is like a 15-minute video.
Or something. We represent businesses, and we want businesses to thrive. We want businesses to create wealth. We want businesses to create great, amazing content for global audience.
All right. So, on a closing note, do you think IGDC has found a new home? Is Chennai gonna be it?
Yes, we think the government here has been very proactive. They have committed for us to be here for as long as we want to be here, right? And this space, we're in love with this space.
I think it's going to be case by case basis in terms of why you're using AI, right? For example, let's say I'm an indie dev, I make a game and want to translate it into other languages, but I can't afford to hire voice actors. Then maybe I can use AI to translate the audio into different languages and provide that option to people. Then it is up to the people if they want to play in the original thing or use the AI translation. That is something that I could see if there's a solo dev who can't afford voice actors or doesn't know anyone in the other languages. Okay, I see like some use cases here and there, but it depends on if you're acting good faith or not. If you can and should in that situation be hiring talent and you are intentionally not doing it and trying to use AI to, I don't know, basically not put in the effort to make the product. I don't know, especially if it's paid, if you're putting a game on Steam, etc. Acting nominees, I will. These are not nominees. This is just IGDC's interview.
It's right.
It said future of Indian game dev. I was like, okay, let me take a look at it. It's a 15-minute video. It's been 45 minutes since I've started the stream. You can do the math on how long I've been ranting.
This is something where we can scale to 12,000, 15,000 people without a problem. Right? And this time, I mean, we were a little bit worried about the weather in Chennai.
Seeing the expected, yeah, I was gonna do it, but the website keeps crashing. I can't even do that. I thought, okay, I'll do it, and then at the end of the stream, we'll do the voting.
We were worried about. I mean, I'm sure you were all worried about weather in Chennai. But man, this was so pleasant, right? I think we found our home. So we'll see. In the coming months, we will get more clarity from the government. Once that happens, I think we'll let you guys know, obviously.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sridhar. It was great talking.
Okay, okay. Regardless of my disagreements, that was a good interview. I have like some hope about the future of Indian game dev. Yes, industry. Man, all I'm asking for is one game. Give me one good game out of India in the next 10 years. That is all I want.